The streets of the city glittered with Christmas lights, shop windows glowing with warmth and laughter, drifting out from cafes where families gathered. But for Ethan Cole, the night felt colder than the snow that crunched under his shoes. He had just finished another late meeting, the kind that left his office towers buzzing but his own home silent. His little boy was already asleep by the time he'd get there, a thought that made his chest ache. Driving through a quieter neighborhood, he noticed something unusual. A heap of rags slumped against a trash bin, barely visible under the snowflakes. Ethan slowed the car, squinting. It wasn't trash, it was too still, too fragile. His pulse quickened. He pulled over, stepping out into the icy wind. As he drew closer, his breath caught. It wasn't rags. It was a child. A little girl, no more than 6 or 7, lay curled up on the frozen ground. Her dress was thin, sleeves torn, and her tiny hands clutched her knees as if trying to hold the cold out. Her shoes were mismatched, soaked through with slush. She didn't stir until his shadow fell over her. Ethan knelt down, heart thundering. "Hey, sweetheart, are you all right?" His voice was gentle, like he spoke to his own son when nightmares woke him. The girl flinched, opening her eyes just enough to see him. Fear flickered there, but exhaustion dulled it. Her lips trembled as she whispered, "Please, don't take me away. I'm just waiting. For Santa. Maybe he'll bring me a warm bed this year." Ethan's throat tightened painfully. Snowflakes landed on her lashes, melting into tiny tears. He slipped his coat off and wrapped it around her frail body, tucking it snugly under her chin. The size of her, so small, so fragile, made his chest ache even more. "Santa sent me," he said softly, though his voice cracked. No little girl should be waiting out here alone. Her eyes searched his as though trying to decide whether to believe him. Slowly, she reached out a thin hand and grabbed his sleeve. Mama said she'd be back. But she didn't come. I waited and waited. I was too scared to go home. Her words were broken, shivering, yet full of a kind of hope that shouldn't belong to a child left in the cold. Ethan swallowed hard. This wasn't just chance. This was a sign, a moment that demanded more than sympathy. It demanded action. Ethan carried the girl into his car, his coat still wrapped tightly around her. She was feather-light, and that frightened him more than the snowstorm outside. Her lips were pale and her breathing shallow. "Stay with me, sweetheart," he murmured, glancing at her in the rearview mirror as he sped toward the nearest hospital. Inside the emergency ward, doctors rushed forward when they saw him burst through the doors. "Severe hypothermia," one nurse whispered urgently, pulling the girl onto a stretcher. Ethan followed, refusing to let go of her hand until they insisted he wait outside. For hours he paced the sterile white corridor, replaying her words. Mama said she'd be back. Who could leave a child like this? Finally, a doctor came out. "She's stable now," he said. Relief washed over Ethan like a tide. But then the doctor hesitated, eyeing him strangely. "Sir, we ran her name through the system. You should know this isn't just any little girl."
"She's Emma Lawson."
The missing granddaughter of Margaret Lawson. Ethan froze. Everyone in the city knew that name. The Lawson family was one of the wealthiest dynasties, with power that stretched across industries, and their little heiress had vanished months ago. "Her parents?" Ethan asked cautiously. The doctor sighed. "Her mother abandoned her. There's a custody battle that never made the news. The grandmother has been searching for her day and night." Ethan pressed a hand to his forehead. He had thought he was saving a stranger's child, but he had stumbled into something far bigger. The next morning, snow still blanketed the city when Ethan returned to the hospital room. Emma lay tucked beneath clean blankets, color returning to her cheeks. When she saw him, her eyes lit up, fragile but filled with trust. "You came back," she whispered, clutching the teddy bear a nurse had given her.
"I thought maybe you wouldn't."
Ethan smiled softly, pulling a chair close. "I told you, Santa sent me. And Santa doesn't break promises." At that moment, the door swung open. A regal woman in a fur-lined coat rushed inside, tears streaking her face. Margaret Lawson, the CEO herself. She dropped to her knees beside the bed, kissing Emma's forehead, sobbing, "My baby. My sweet baby." Emma held onto her grandmother, but her gaze drifted back to Ethan. "Grandma, can he stay? He made me safe."
"He made me warm."
Margaret turned to him, her powerful presence softened by gratitude. "Mr. Cole," Ethan said, standing awkwardly. "Ethan Cole, I just found her. Nothing more." Margaret's eyes studied him, a man in a wrinkled shirt, exhaustion lining his face but warmth in his eyes. She saw something most people missed, the quiet strength of a man who gave without expecting anything in return. Nothing more? She repeated, her voice trembling. You gave me back my granddaughter. You gave her back hope. That's everything.